Will Edgar be visiting us soon? Heather Powell, the daughter of a long-time Collins family friend, inquired. She had come to visit the Dowager Duchess at her mother's request, but in truth it was the handsome Duke she truly hoped to see.
That boy has no intention of visiting us. It is always we who must take the carriage to Lockwood to see him. Have you continued to write to him as I instructed?
Priscilla questioned, observing Heather, whom she considered an ideal match for her son.
Yes, but I receive no reply. My heart can only bear so much, and I must confess I might stop writing soon. I cannot force Edgar to like me, and none of your suggestions seem to have made a difference. The distance between us has made it even more difficult.
Heather said with a wry smile, her tone apologetic as she reluctantly considered giving up.
I will not permit you to abandon your efforts, Heather. Your mother and I have been friends for many years, and she is my only solace in this desolate town. I promised I would help you marry Edgar, and I shall not stop now. You two have grown up so close. Surely that suggests you will be happy together in time.
Heather forced a small smile, though the truth remained that she and Edgar were not nearly as close as the Dowager Duchess believed. Edgar made his feelings abundantly clear. If he didn't like someone, he simply didn't seek them out. Although he had always been polite to Heather when they crossed paths, she could tell he was irked by her presence. It likely had much to do with their mothers constantly discussing marriage whenever they were together. Heather knew there was no chance she would ever marry Edgar, and truth be told, she didn't want to. But for the sake of her mother and her relationship with Priscilla Collins, she continued to play along. Not just anyone received an invitation to spend time alone with the Dowager Duchess of Lockwood.
I don't know when I'll ever hear back from Edgar. Perhaps I shall wait until he visits you, Your Grace. There is much I wish to know about him and his life in Lockwood. I would love to visit the town and attend one of the grand balls the king often hosts there. My mother and I are considering going for the winter. Heather mused. If I weren't stuck in this dreadful house, I would already be in Lockwood. It's as though I'm tied to the place by my husband's ghost with no way to escape. How did I go from the grandeur of Lockwood County to this miserable town where nothing ever happens?
Priscilla sighed deeply, picking up her fan as she began to feel the heat. I think it's sweet that the late Lord Collins wanted you to live in a house surrounded by flowers. You know, before his death, he always said he planted them to complement your beauty. So many women were envious when he said such things about you. The Dowager Duchess rolled her eyes.
Yes, terribly sweet of him. But more flowers just mean more insects. I don't suppose he thought of that before enforcing the gesture upon me.
Priscilla sighed, thinking of all she had lost after Edmund passed.
I miss my old life in Lockwood. Perhaps I should take a trip there and announce, she mused. My son might have encouraged my retirement, but he has no right to turn me away if I should wish to stay at what was once my own home.
The more she thought of it, the more this idea appealed to Priscilla. She might be a widow, but that was not a reason to abandon her social life, especially in the county she had presided over much of her life.
In fact, why wait? She exclaimed, narrowing her eyes at Heather. I will speak with your mother about the two of you joining me, but there's nothing for either of you to do here anyway. Don't you miss Lockwood? It's a pity your father made the same foolish decision as my late husband. This town is far too peaceful, and the gossip is dreary. The most exciting news here is about people from elsewhere.
It's up to my mother, of course, but yes, I do miss Lockwood. There are many friends I need to catch up with, Heather replied.
And you must spend time with Edgar. If we do nothing, you'll waste our best years. Heaven knows they're already slipping away every moment you remain unmarried, Priscilla said, shaking her head.
She needed a healthy young woman to marry her son and give her some grandchildren. Heather wanted to protest, to mention that Priscilla had pressured her mother to reject every marriage proposal she had received, in the hopes of keeping her available for Edgar. Had it not been for the Dowager Duchess's meddling, Heather would already have been married. Now Priscilla was commenting on Heather's age, hinting that she might soon find someone younger for Edgar.
Do not look so glum, Heather. I shall have you two married by the end of our trip. My son knows he needs a wife to provide him with an heir. If he's going to marry, it should be someone he can at least tolerate at first, and then the two of you shall learn to love each other over time. You will make an excellent daughter-in-law because you listen so well,"
Priscilla said with a smile. She was extremely particular about the type of woman who would marry Edgar. Not just anyone could bear the Collins name. Her daughter-in-law must also be willing to obey her every command. Fortunately, Heather fit those requirements, having been raised to respect her elders.
"Lady Collins,"
a man called as he stepped onto the balcony. Priscilla scrunched her nose, inspecting the man's poor attire with distaste.
"What gives you the right to approach me dressed in such a way? Who allowed you to enter?"
The butler, Your Grace. I rode from Lockwood with urgent news about the Duke of Lockwood. I had no time to change my clothes and wanted to deliver the message immediately. It's a matter of great importance."
"Stop rambling and tell me what has happened. Has something happened to Edgar?"
Priscilla demanded, her voice tinged with concern. She placed her fan down quickly, her eyes narrowing. There had been no news of her beloved son for weeks, and now the messenger looked far too nervous to bring any good tidings.
"No, Your Grace, nothing unfortunate,"
he assured her, faltering for a moment. The event of a wedding was typically joyful, but given the reputation of the bride and the fact that the mother of the groom had not been invited to the ceremony, the man knew the news would not be well received. He could only hope that the Dowager Duchess would not shoot the messenger.
"My lady,"
he began, drawing anxious breath before continuing.
"I have received word that your son, Lord Edgar Collins, Duke of Lockwood, is married."
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.